right, good afternoon. Welcome to TAC Chat number 12. This is Dan, your host. I've got a small show set up for today. It's not going to be too much longer than maybe 30 minutes. I wasn't going to do it this soon, and I was going to do it a little more in depth, but I seen something today that made me want to do it today. You know, sometimes for a guy who used to be a sharpshooter, or a sniper, or whatever you want to, word it as, I sometimes pull the trigger a little quickly on some things. And today I'm going to talk about the spiritual awakening that I've been referring to. And, it's funny, when I got into when I changed what I was going to do with my book, I kind of switched directions a little bit to add some other things in that I felt were relevant. I had to kind of switch focuses with what was going on in the world. Obviously, I think we all have. And what's going on right now, it may be too late, but, I might as well give it a try. It probably is from some of the stuff I'm seeing, but I want to give, some kind of hope. But I'm seeing some crazy, nasty shit out there. The importance of teaching, objective morality, karmic law, natural law, I really was drawn to. From things I had seen and experienced in my own life to listening to others and kind of just heeding the call that there needs to be more teachers out there. But if I was honest, with myself as well as with anyone else, I am, as far as my occulted level of knowledge is concerned, as far as my study of the occult, I'm probably an intermediate level at best initiate. That puts me above a lot of people in the world, but it doesn't give me the qualifications, I feel, to teach it real in depth. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it in the most general ways. And I think after this episode, people are going to understand where I come from. I think it's important to find a niche at what you might specialize in within any endeavor. And I think I might have found mine today. And I got a tarot card that I want to use for today's episode that I felt was kind of fitting, actually. And it's the Two of Swords. Kind of go into something blindfolded, not fully prepared. I'm all weaponed up and ready to go, but not sure what direction I'm going to go in, not realizing there's a storm rising behind me. There's a lot of symbolism in the tarot. I've studied the tarot. I've studied the runes. Again, intermediate level. There are a few things within natural law I think I'm probably a little more advanced in, and I'm going to get to those things today, but I'm going to get to my spiritual awakening. And, unlike when people hear the word spiritual awakening, especially in the religious community, they tend to start thinking in terms of Moses or like the Apostle Peter or something like that. And, I always jokingly say it's nothing like that. It was more like Bruce Almighty. Maybe Bruce Almighty on steroids. The fact of the matter is the majority, and this is going to sound like a really white person thing to say to all my friends out there, this is going to be the whitest people thing you've ever heard, or, you're probably used to hearing. Yes, animals have talked to me, at least that's what I think. It's not that simple, okay? The signs were probably there for years. I just started noticing them. Spirit signs aren't going to be glaring neon lights. They're subtle. They're small. And when I had to explain it to somebody, I explained it like this. Besides study, besides internet study and reading books and getting interested in it, because I started seeing patterns developed in correspondence with other things going on in my life and in correspondence directly with my thoughts. For instance, I'm going to just let some of these play. Most of these pictures are my pictures. I took most of them myself. I'm just going to let it run through there while I'm talking. For instance, if I was watching a podcast and I would hear something that really resonated with me or gave me a level of understanding or had one of those aha moments, and a certain animal would show up. Or if I had a certain emotion or contemplation from a podcast or from reading a book. Okay, it happened a lot when reading, where you really sit there to reflect on something. and it corresponded with fear. It corresponded with these animal signs would correspond with anger. I'm going to go in depth to what these totems mean because I've studied them, probably ad nauseum. I've taken a real interest in it. That picture is a mockingbird, and I didn't take that picture. That's a beautiful taken picture. I got that one off the internet. That's one I took. Yeah, cats keep coming into my life. Definitely one of my spirit guides. I got all kinds of them. The point of this show is, and this is another slide. I'm looking at the slides now. So that's my backyard. Part of this would be to understand what kind of animals are normally around you. Because if it's a common animal, it might not mean as much if it's an animal that's not common to your area. I'm going to get more in depth about that type of stuff. But again, getting back to explaining, some of the animal signs that I had during this, awakening, were in correspondence to behaviors that I'll get into later on in my book that's going to be coming out. And the best way that I was able to explain it was, if you get certain animals showing up with certain thoughts, in correspondence to certain thoughts, certain emotions, contemplations, aha moments, if you pay attention to that, they have a message to give you. Okay? Animals are our friends. They're symbiont with us in our entire, throughout our entire history. And this is one of the reasons why I actually turned into a vegetarian. And it was a slower process. It probably took me almost 2 years to do completely. I went back for a little bit, and I went on the keto diet, of all things, and I got off beef right away, but then I wanted to drop weight. I wanted to get on the keto diet for a little bit for medical reasons. I was like 65, 70 pounds heavier than I am now. And so I went back to meat for a little bit and actually got sick because I'd been off of it for a little bit. I was eating like 2 or 3 sausage patties a day, a couple protein shakes a day just to get the keto going. Got off that, and I'll talk about diet and stuff later on in the show, but went back to vegetables, and you'd be surprised on what you can do in getting fat with avocados, actually. So I went back to, when I say vegetarian, I mean vegetarian, not full vegan. I'm still animal byproducts that don't kill the animal. I don't have a problem with, as of right now. That's like maybe their gift to us. I don't know. Yeah, everyone's got their own thing, but I've seen some really, really, really bad, nasty stuff today. And again, when you get that hive mind mentality, the mob mentality, group violence mentality, it takes on a life of its own. And I'm seeing really, really inhuman things. Like, I'm going to get to a video I seen that disturbed me. And, I don't know the evil that is taken over the darkness of souls of men, but I pray that it lifts. I pray that it lifts. I don't know, there's some crazy shit, man, crazy stuff. And I've seen violence, but some of the stuff that I'm seeing out there now is just ridiculous, especially towards animals for no reason. When I was going through all these, I've been going through the spiritual awakening for 2 or 3 years, and it's kind of crazy. I started talking to my wife, and I was trying to explain it to her, and she gets it, because she has to live with me. And I told her, I feel like a combination of Conan the Retarded Barbarian and Bran the Raven from Game of Thrones. It's like a good mixture right there. Because of the animal totems, animal signs I was seeing, the spiritual things I was experiencing, I felt like Conan the Retarded Barbarian amalgamated together with Bran the Raven from the Game of Thrones. That was the best way to put it. And she looked at me, she's like, "You're stupid," and walks away and laughs and whatever. We're seeing really, really bad stuff in the world. Really, really bad stuff in the world. I'm going to play a video, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time. This video isn't really for the faint of heart. It's very nasty. It's very nasty. I'm going to switch over real quick.
All right, this is just a quick, I got my J downloader, but it doesn't seem to be grabbing this link the way I want it to. This is kind of disturbing. I'm saving this for a future podcast. What the fuck's wrong with humanity? Yo!
Yeah, that was hard for me to watch. You know, fucking. Yeah, I don't know where humanity's going with stupid shit like that. What did that accomplish? What the fuck did that accomplish? What did you prove? What the fuck did you prove? So, yeah, this is definitely going to be a short episode. It's funny because there are two things. Again, getting back to this tarot card that came to my mind. There's two things that I know I'm good at. I was a use of force instructor and a defensive tactics instructor, and I've been involved in a lot of violent things in my life. And there's one thing that I know true anarchism and karmic law have, and that's the non-aggression principle. That is not to get violent or to initiate violence against any sentient creature. Any. And the other sacred principle is that of self-defense. That's what I'm good at. And those are the things I'm going to concentrate on. And I think in this day and time, knowing self-defense, being able to defend yourself properly, being able to also de-escalate somebody, but understanding when it's time to go ahead and defend yourself and defend others, to defend others. That was real brave. Real brave. And that accomplished what? What the fuck did that accomplish? You know, when I start thinking about a month ago or so, I was at the range. And it had been the first time I had been training people in a while. And it was funny because I got something to show here. This is a toy gun. It's a toy gun, but I like to show clear even with toy guns. It's an airsoft gun. It's just a pump gun. But it's funny that at the range with new shooters, I'm watching these new shooters, and some of them are left-wing shooters. I mean, these are left-wing. Some of these were liberals there learning how to shoot. Okay? They weren't learning how to shoot like they were on some Antifa mission. Okay, these were people holding their gun. I've seen more brand new guns that day. The fear, you know, people talk about being empaths. You don't have to be empathic to fucking to cut through the fear. It was so thick in the air, I could taste it, man. You can cut right through it with a knife. I never seen that many brand new guns, not even touched out of the box in my life, man. And I'm glad. I'm glad people are taking their self-defense seriously and taking it into their own hands, because police ain't going to show up when you need them to. Even under the best of circumstances, it's a reactionary sport. But to see the fear in these people, and they're holding the guns, and you can see, as you know, they're like, even as upset as I am, I'm holding the gun pretty steady. These people, you know, they weren't even under any stress. And yeah, I felt rusty that day. I hadn't taught in a little bit. I felt rusty until I got around them and realized, wow, no, I'm not rusty at all. And these people were scared, and they weren't scared of animals. They weren't scared of anything other than other people. and all the craziness going on in the world. And I couldn't help but think to myself that saying, or that thing from the 13th, that from the 13th Warrior, you know, where Evan said, you know, I am no warrior. You know, his Viking buddy looked over at him and said, very soon you will be. That's all I kept thinking about these poor people, is they're not warriors, but pretty soon they might have to be. You know, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on the non-aggression principle and the principle of self-defense in all this. It's just, it's sad, it's ridiculous. If we can't lift if the evil that has darkened the souls of man cannot be lifted, then trash like that needs to get put down. And that type of animalistic behavior, they'll do that to anybody. It doesn't have to be an animal, it'll be a human. It's not right to hurt sentient creatures, human, animals, anything. What the fuck did that prove? What the fuck did that prove, man? So here, let me tell you what you just did. If anyone sees this. Thank you for the fucking cosmic culpability and karma you're giving humanity. You want to free yourself? You're not going to free yourself or undo the chains that bind you by creating the kind of natural law, consequential effects and karmic consequences that kind of fucking thing does to you. Every one of you fucks there, especially the one with the bat. Good luck. Good luck, bro. I understand karmic law that much. Good luck. Fucking fool. I pray for all of us in these times to come, man. I don't know if this was a very enlightened tag chat or this was me just, you know, venting. But I just want to put out there that I understand what I need to do and the direction I need to go in with certain things. And if I crossed any boundaries for anybody, especially other people in this line of, you know, in this self line of work that people are volunteering their time to do, you know, I want to apologize. This is fucking crazy. This is completely insane, man. And this is what I feel like my dharma is, my karma. This is what I'm being called to do right now. I don't want to fucking do it. All I want to do is jujitsu and go back to sleep. I don't want to be awake. But I am. And fuck cowards like that.